Something that I found fascinating that Little Richard actually knew about the character. How cool is that for you to find out that, like, know that the actual person that you're kind of loosely portraying appreciates what you're doing?
It's so cool that when Little Richard, we had a pilot. Barry Vigon wrote a pilot.
Yeah.
He was a writer for Seinfeld for many years, and he wrote a pilot called The Main Event, which featured me and Little Richard. And Little Richard played my father, who ran the gym while I was on the road wrestling. So it was kind of like a real life story of this character, Johnny B. Bad. But his father was Little Richard, who ran the gym and would get in all kinds of trouble. I mean, he'd be drinking at the gym when he wasn't supposed to. He would have hookers come in there. He was doing all kinds of crazy stuff at my gym that I owned, supposedly in the sitcom. And so they were coming to. We filmed the pilot, but we had to film without Little Richard because he did not come to the contract obligations, or they're negotiating them or whatever it was back then. And so I never really knew whether he even liked the character or anything. Well, fast forward years later, Little Richard passes away, and his driver is named Clarence Santani, who's now become a really good friend of mine. And he shares stories about him driving Little Richard, and Little Richard would get such a kick out of watching Johnny be bad. And it was like, I can't tell you how important it was. Imitation is the best form of flattery, and me imitating him, he really was impressed by it and thought I did a pretty good job too,
Yeah.
Because I remember he'd take my poster to a concert, and he'd hold up my poster of me as Johnny B. Bad, and he'd say something like, "They say he's pretty. He's not as pretty as me," and he'd rip up the poster, So hearing things like that, I never really knew how he felt, but Clarence told me that he loved the character.